Hello. It is a beautiful Thursday here in Seattle. And I was thinking about communication and all of the different ways that we communicate. And we communicate in so many different ways with our body, with our minds, with our thoughts, with our voices, with our words, with our hearts, with whether we lean into something or whether we lean away from something. So we're constantly communicating. And it's important to recognize that the world and the things and the people around us are also constantly communicating with us. And it's just interesting to think about our communication and our communication styles. And I love this. This is a Meister Eckhart poem, and it says, "If I were alone in a desert and feeling afraid, I would want a child with me, for then my fear would disappear and I would be made strong. This is what life in itself can do because it is so noble, so full of pleasure, and so powerful. But if I could not have a child with me, I would like to have at least a living animal at my side to comfort me. Therefore, let those who bring about wonderful things in their big dark books take an animal to help them. The life within the animal will give them strength in turn, for equality gives strength in all things and at all times." So when I think about equality in communication, I think about listening and I think about sharing. And so, am I able to share my voice? Have I been silenced? Have I been told not to speak? Have I been told to be a secret or to keep a secret? Am I in hiding in some way? Am I censoring myself for not speaking my truth or not in my truth? So it's interesting to think about the ways in which we communicate, the ways in which we communicate. Books are like woo, and the things we want to communicate, the things we don't communicate. And can we acknowledge one another? Can we give one another that attention? They say that the whole world is watching us, the whole world is listening to us, and the whole world is paying attention to who we are, where we are, what we are. And this being the case, I kind of wonder what the world is trying to communicate to us right now. Um, and I think we need to remember a few things about being able to listen to the world in addition to telling the world, you know, things, in addition to communicating with the world. The world is also communicating with us about what it wants and what it needs and its own. Um, its own wants, needs, wishes, and desires. The natural world is constantly communicating with us, constantly talking with us. So I would just ask, how am I communicating? What am I communicating? How come I'm communicating? Right? There's this really great um, uh, little way of, I guess, tracking that from the recovery movement that is like, wait, is why am I talking? Right? And so I can ask myself, why am I talking? And or what am I talking for? What is it that I want to share? So right now, the reason I'm talking is I want to share about communication and some things that I've learned about communication, but also that communication is happening all of the time, all around us. And it's not just people that are communicating, it's also the world itself. So the world and the earth are communicating. And then what are my patterns around communication? And what do I do to kind of shut people down or to kind of stop the conversation? What are my kind of tricks of the trade with that? Because we all have ways where we're like, oh gosh, I don't really want to talk about this, or this is fucking uncomfortable. And I don't really want to, have to think about this or hear this right now. And really, the truth is amazing. The truth is so gorgeous. And even if it's a difficult truth, it's important that we're able to tell the truth and that we're able to trust and to feel and to speak. So it's important that if I'm being silenced, how come? And if someone is telling me like not to speak or telling me that I need to censor myself or not really be who I am, how come that is? How come that is? And it's really important that we're not keeping secrets. Like secrets are not a good idea. And we can have things that are private or that are only for certain people in our lives. Like I'm going to tell my best friend a lot different things than I'm going to tell you, or you're going to tell your best friend a lot different things that you're going to tell, right? A certain group of people or at your job, or although some of us have really close friends in our jobs, which is a good idea. But just really like who you tell things to is important. It's like what Brene Brown says. She says, people have to earn our vulnerabilities, right? Like if we're going to be vulnerable with someone and tell them the truth and tell them what's on our mind, um, there are certain people we share certain vulnerabilities with, and other people that we don't share certain vulnerabilities with. So a really good question is, to ask ourselves is, am I a person that shares my vulnerabilities in the places where they need to be shared? But also, am I able to give the acknowledgement and the attention to others as they share their vulnerabilities with me? Do I respond well to them? Or do I, try to censor or silence myself or others or organizations or people or places or things? It's important that we come out of hiding. Like one of the things that's really important right now, for all people and for everyone, is that we are not silenced, and that we're not keeping any secrets, that we're sharing our vulnerabilities with those who have earned them, those people who are trustworthy. But the important thing is, can I become that trustworthy person where others can feel, where others can trust, and where others can speak? And if I'm not able to trust and to speak and to feel, how come? How come, and what can I do? Because that's going to tell me these are some areas where I need healing, or these are some areas where healing is needed, or these are some areas for me to look at. And what is it that I really want to speak about? And to find someone that really cares about us and that really loves us and that really sees us and respects us, who is willing and able and happy to receive us and to hear our voice and to like celebrate the existence of our voice and our feelings and our expression of those feelings. And so even if it's not easy, even if it's challenging. Oops, my earring is doing something. Even if it's challenging, right? Like what's important is that we're able to share who, what, where we are, and it doesn't have to be comfortable. It's not important that it's comfortable. It doesn't matter if it's comfortable. What's important is that we're able to, really kind of expand our capacity so that we can pay attention to the feelings that we have, express them in ways that really benefit and bless ourselves and others. Like it's an honor to receive someone's feelings. It's an honor to be able to, appropriate feelings, of course, but and appropriate feelings are where uh, I'm feeling something and I'm not making you responsible for the feeling, right? I'm feeling something and I'm responsible for it, but I'm able to hold you and to acknowledge your experience, right? But where I'm not kind of in the splashing mode of splashing my feelings all over everyone and expecting that they feel exactly the same way about everything that I do. We're not wanting to have everyone have the same feelings. So people have different feelings about different things. What's important is that we're able to receive those feelings, to acknowledge those feelings, to honor those feelings, and then also to make sure that we are in a process where we're acknowledging everyone else's feelings also. Right. So everyone's feelings are important. Our feelings are not the only important feelings, and other people don't need to feel what I feel. Okay. So the acknowledgement, the attention, and authenticity to communicate what we're feeling, but also to be able to tell the truth. And I love what Angela Sarian talks about, that ability to really speak the truth without blame or judgment. So I just love her work with the fourfold way. And as my mentor, I really uh, integrated that fourfold way into my being, and I worked with her for a really long time. So it was really important to me to integrate that ability to be in the fourfold way. So the fourfold way, and we can really rely on that. And she said that if people do this, like if people are able to live the fourfold way or to apply these four concepts to their lives that it would increase their happiness or increase happiness by like 85%, which is a lot. That's a lot of increase, right? So if my happiness is increased by 85%, if my happiness is increased, or my well-being or my authenticity, it's not really about happiness. It's more about my authenticity and my integrity and my ability to be who I am. So the fourfold way is that ability to show up and choose to be present is the first one. And the second one is the ability to speak the truth without blame. I don't think there's like a particular order. I mean, kind of, but any order is fine. The ability to speak the truth without blame or judgment, and the ability to do it has deep heart and meaning, and the ability to be open to the outcome and not attached to the outcome. So that is the fourfold way. And she really believed that if we began to live that way, that we would increase our health and our happiness and our well-being. So just to be able to think about those things and to increase our capacity and our ability to share where we are and who we are and where we're at, but also really to come out of hiding, and to share what's really going on. And the world is doing the same right now. The world is saying, this is what's really going on. This is what I'm really experiencing. And we need to do something about it. So we can think about, oh, the world is communicating. My mom always talks about, hey, if 1/3 of all people were to build soil, healthy soil, it could turn climate change around. Like, right? 1/3 of all people. So that would be something that we could be thinking about instead of communicating things that increase feelings that kind of lead us into hiding or justifying or censoring ourselves, others. What we can do is we can just simply tell those little truths without an attachment to the outcome, right? Of how people are going to take it or what they're going to do with it. What's important is that we're able to communicate in such a way that it turns things in a more positive and beneficial direction for everyone. We all need to be benefiting all of us right now. So what's really going to benefit all of us? What's really going to benefit everyone? And just really to take one another into account, in addition to taking the plants and the animals and this beautiful being called the earth into account every day, because we are a part of the earth. So we don't want to do anything to the earth that we wouldn't want to do to ourselves. And of course, the first law of love is listening and communicating, and caring for, hearing and seeing is probably being heard and being seen, are the two most healing experiences that a human being can have. And I believe that all sentient beings and everything in the world is sentient. Everything in the world is here, and it's all filled with the divine. And so to connect with that divinity in all beings and to listen deeply to what it's telling us. Thank you so much. And I will see you next Thursday.